All right, welcome back. Here we are. We are going to look at medians and centroid and some vocabulary just to remember that we've talked about. A median, remember, goes from a vertex of a triangle or of a triangle to the midpoint of the opposite side. And the centroid then is just where those medians meet. It's the point where the medians meet. And you did a GeoGebra exploration where you figured out where the medians meet and some things that hopefully you discovered about it. Now we're just going to go in a little bit more depth of how that 2/3 works, and then another way, something else you can do with medians and centroids is you can actually find the ordered pair of a centroid. Okay, so the centroid theorem says that the centroid, so if we look at this picture, point P here in the middle, is 2/3 of the way across the triangle, essentially. So this longer part here is 2/3, and this shorter part here is 1/3. So we're going to be dealing with some fractions here in just a little bit, but that's okay because we can handle that. Okay, so we have that point P is the centroid of the triangle. Okay, it doesn't say that, but it said it in the directions originally. So point P is the centroid, and it says QN, which is this entire median right here, is 9. And it wants us, let's go ahead and let's find PN and PQ. Okay, well, thinking that the centroid is basically broken up into thirds, each part of it is a third, so if we think 9 divided by 3 is 3, which means the 1/3 part, this is going to be 3, that's 1/3 of it, twice that is 2/3 of it, so this part is going to be 6. So PQ is 3 and PN is 6. Okay, same thing. This one does the exact same thing. It tells us the entire median length is 21. If we're thinking in thirds, each third of it is 7. So the short part here, this part's going to be 7. That is 1/3. 2/3 would be twice that, which is 14. So if we had to find PN, it would be 14, and PQ would be 7. Down here on the bottom, we have to be a little bit more careful and read our directions. It says DE. That's the short part of the median. That's 5. Okay, well, that's 1/3 of the way across. So if DE is 5, DC, the rest of the way across, is going to be 2/3, which is double that, which is 10, which means DC would be 10. And then if we want to know the length of the entire median, it would be 10 plus 5, which is 15. Okay, number 11, same thing. It tells us DE. That is 11. That's 1/3 of the way across. If we want the other part, this part is going to be double that, which is 2/3 of it. So that's 22. So DE is 11. DC would be 22. And the whole median, CE, would be 33. See, so working with the fractions wasn't as bad as you thought it might be. Okay, so there are 3 paths through the triangular park. Each path goes through the midpoint of one edge to the opposite corner. The paths meet at point P, which means if they meet midpoint to the opposite edge, this is going to be a centroid. So we know it's going to be broken up into 2/3 and 1/3. So it says PS, that's this piece right here. Find PS. I should actually read the directions here. Find PS and PC when SC equals 2,100 feet. So the whole thing is 2,100 feet. If we divide that by 3, each third is 700. So SP is going to be 700. And then PC, the other part, which is the 2/3 part, is going to be 1,400. Okay? Why don't you pause the video, take a second, and figure out the other 2 problems here, the length of TC and BC, and then the length of PA and TA. And then let me know if you have any questions. So So actually looking at this, I want to talk about it for just a second before I turn you guys loose. TC and BC, if you notice, that is the side of the triangle. Okay, and if we are talking about a centroid, that is the median, which means that side BC, that place where T hits it, breaks it in half. Okay, so that means that BT and TC are going to be the same thing. So if BT is 1,000 feet, this is not a 1/3, 2/3 thing. This is the midpoint because it's a side. So if BT is 1,000, that also means that TC is going to be 1,000. And then BC is going to be all of it, which is 2,000. So you have to be careful and read the directions carefully. PA and TA when PT, so now this one, be careful. This one, they actually go back and they tell you the short side, or the short part, the 1/3 part. So if that's 800, okay, that means that this part is the 2/3, which is going to be 1,600, and then the whole thing is going to be 2,400. Okay, one other thing that we haven't really done with any of the other centers of triangles yet is actually find the coordinates of it. We haven't done anything on a coordinate plane. Everything has pretty much been in GeoGebra. We've just been drawing pictures and finding links and things like that. But when you have a centroid, basically you can, it's kind of like the center where if you're going to balance a triangle on the tip of a pencil. And in order to find the centroid, it's really pretty simple. To find the coordinates of the centroid, simply average the x's and average the y's. Okay, so if our ordered pairs are, let's see here, we have 2, 1, 5, 8, and 8, 3. Okay, I just rewrote them, and I like to write them in top to bottom in a list because that way I make sure my x's are all lined up and my y's are all lined up. So if I add my x's together, I get 8 plus 5 plus 2 is 15. And if I average them, I'm going to take 15 divided by 3, which is 5. That's going to be my x value. And then my other one, if I add my y's together, I get 8 plus 3 is 11, plus 1 is 12. So my y, I'm going to average my y's, is going to be 12 divided by 3. I divide by 3 because there are 1, 2, 3 terms in my list. So my y value is 4. So the ordered pair, if we graph this, found the medians, all that stuff, the ordered pair of the centroid would be 5, 4. Okay, one last time here, just looking at some examples of how to find the ordered pair of the centroid. Again, I like to write them up and down, so I keep track of my x's and I keep track of my y's. So I have 2, 5, 4, 9, and 6, 1. There's my 3 ordered pairs. When I add my x's together, I get 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 2 is 12. When I add my y's together, I get 10 plus 5 is 15. So my x value is the average, so I'm going to take 12 divided by 3, which is 4, and my y value is 15 divided by 3, which is 5. So again, it's going to be 4, 5. It's just, those are nice, easy numbers to work with. Sometimes you want something easy that'll divide by 3. And so then if I move over here, okay, why don't you go ahead, pause the video, figure out the ordered pair of the centroid, and then check back. Okay, this one, the only reason it was a little tricky is because there were some negative numbers in there, so you had to be careful when you were adding. -3 plus 1 minus 1 is -3. If you divide by 3, you get -1. And 5 plus 3 is 8, minus 2 is 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2. There is a class kick for you to work on when you get this done, so please get that done, and good luck.